Give me your analysis of this race.
It was a good race. I'm really glad our team is a nice pack together, so it's looking good. We have a good start to the season and room for improvement, but I think it was a good start.
Pleased with yourself? I mean, I realize there's team and camaraderie, but give me your personal assessment of Kelly Walton.
I would have liked to do better. I had expectations that were higher, but I wasn't too far off, which was good. It's a good way to get back into it, like I said, and remember what it feels like to hurt for 3 miles. So.
I was going to say, second time out, and this is a little bit longer than last 2 weeks ago. So I guess it's really about building blocks, and this was, from your assessment, pretty good building block.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction, and Gary knows how to peak us when we should be peaking, so this is looking like we're on the right track. So.
Does one get impatient, as you say, maybe you want to do a little bit better, a little bit faster time? Do you get a little impatient with yourself at times?
Yeah, and it's hard to not be discouraged when you work out well and you want to translate that to a race, but you just got to know that it'll come, and you got to keep looking forward and staying strong.
I know later this year we're out on this course again. Is there an advantage having run on a course a time already?
Definitely, and we work out here too, so it's already that mentality that we know this is our course, we're familiar with it, we know how to work hard here, so it'll help, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
For you, this first time out, is it about where you finish, or is it more about time and the specific strategy so that you're running your best at the end of the year?
Well, yeah, we don't really want to start like racing too hard now because we still have about 2 more months until nationals, and for today it was just about an effort to just try and get a good effort and like tempo the first 3, and then try and finish like somewhat harder at the end just to start moving fast finally.
Were you pleased with it? I mean, do you like the way your body responded to that approach?
Yeah, I felt real comfortable through 3 miles, and after that, started picking up and like got slightly uncomfortable, but nothing too bad. I was just cruising by myself for a little while, so I was just trying to stay relaxed and not go too hard or fall apart or anything.
Is there kind of a competitive instinct, though? I know midway through you were running with another runner. Shortly thereafter, you just kind of left them behind. Is there a competitive instinct that kicks in as much as you plan to do it this way or that way, that, okay, now it's a bit of a race?
Yeah, there definitely is, and I think that actually makes it easier when I have to like tempo the beginning of the race, because you kind of feel like you're racing, because you're in the whole entire like race atmosphere and you're used to going a lot faster, but we actually just like end up going easier, so it feels a lot easier, at least for me. And then, yeah, I think when I pulled away from that kid, it was, that's like when we hit 3 miles and I was supposed to start going harder, so I just like picked it up a little bit, and he ran well, but just kind of fell back a little bit.
All right, so I guess simply put, it's a start and you're pleased.
Yeah, it's a good start to the season. Hopefully it continues.
All right, thank you. Let's talk about the women. A 4th place finish for the team. I think Kelly Walton finished, I think, 6th. I realize it's not necessarily about who wins as much as how you're coming along during the year. What'd you think for first time out for a lot of them, second time out for some?
I thought overall we ran about what we expected. We had done a lot of work this week, so I knew we weren't going to be really sharp. But we were right about where I thought we'd be. You know, some better, some worse, but that's just kind of the way things always play out. We're in a good spot. The workouts have been going well, so hopefully when we come back here in 2 months that you know, we put it all together and run well.
In typical season, what's the approach? How do early races differ from later races? Is this simply more about just the progress you make?
Yeah, it's simply about progress right now, especially for the women's team. We have a mixture of older kids and younger kids, and so it's, you know, just trying to figure out where everybody's at and who exactly are going to be the varsity kids when it all comes down into November. And you know, every week gives you a little bit of a glimpse, and you hope by the end that you piece it together correctly.
From what you say, I gather no disappointments. Were there any surprises?
Kelsey O'Driscoll, one of our freshmen, literally got out of a cast on Wednesday on her arm, and she ended up as our 2nd runner, I think, 2nd or 3rd runner. And considering she's been running a cast for the last 2 months, that was great. That was a really good run by her, a gutsy run, and she's going to be a real good runner for us down the road.
All right, on the men's side, I haven't seen the results. I assume just on my based on my eyes, we won this thing, and I know Jeff Veiga first across the finish line. Watching him, it seemed as though it was kind of an easy pace early, about the 3 mile mark. He left everybody else behind. What'd you think of the men's team? What'd you think of Jeff's performance?
Yeah, basically the top 10 guys overall tried to ease it through the first 2 to 3 miles, and then tried to race the last 2 miles in a controlled fashion. You know, their first real test will be at the end of the month at Paul Short. We'll go down to Lehigh. So it's a good opportunity to them at a home meet to stretch out their legs and be able to see, you know, everybody to see them and do that. They did a great job. They all looked very controlled coming in, minus Tyler Sullivan, who was in our top 10, but he raced the whole thing, so it was a little different setup for him, but they did a good job.
I was going to say, I know talking to Jeff Veiga, he says he does like the competitiveness and was glad that you know, at the 3 mile mark he was with someone. And I guess how much in training, how important is developing that competitive attitude?
Yeah, it is probably more important for the younger kids. You know, today really I wanted to race that 2 miles so they got that burn and they could feel what it was like to actually race, so that in 2 weeks they didn't go into shock how hard it is to get out there and race. So they did a good job, and you know, there was pretty much everything that we were hoping it would be.
Now, I know from Vegas saying he said the last 2 miles was a little discomfort. I guess a little discomfort's good.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted them to get used to being a little uncomfortable because, you know, when it comes to a big race, they're probably going to be uncomfortable for 20 minutes, not just 10. So just getting used to that so that in 2 weeks they kind of know what's going on. That was exactly what we were looking for.
Okay, Coach, thank you.
Thanks.